Hello Golden State Warriors fans, we are here once again to bring you the latest news related to our team, and I would like to emphasize how committed we are to improving our performance to achieve great results. Before we dive into this intriguing news, I kindly request you to show your support by clicking the like button, and if you are not yet subscribed to our channel, I invite you all to join us on an exciting journey. Remember to turn on notifications so you don't miss anything. 3 post-lottery draft questions that could impact the future of the Golden State Warriors. The NBA Draft Lottery took place on Sunday in Chicago, with the Golden State Warriors officially ceding their first-round selection, 14th overall, to the Portland Trail Blazers. While other teams had incredible luck, the Warriors failed to move up from their pre-lottery position, entering with a 96.6% chance of being the 14th pick. They would have retained the pick if it had jumped into the top 4. Despite forfeiting the first-round pick, the Golden State Warriors will still be impacted by Sunday's lottery results. The Warriors may not have been able to move up the 10 spots required, but the Atlanta Hawks sensationally secured the first overall pick, despite entering with only the 10th best odds after a season where they finished alongside the Warriors in the Eastern Conference. The Detroit Pistons were undoubtedly the biggest loser on Sunday, dropping 4 spots to retain the 5th overall pick after ending the season with the league's worst record, 14-68. The Warriors will be without a first-round pick for the first time since 2017 unless they are involved in a trade, which seems unlikely given the generally weak nature of the draft and the franchise's aspiration to return to the playoffs rather than rebuild. This doesn't mean that the Golden State won't be impacted by Sunday's results, with a series of stories that will surely reverberate throughout the league. Let's take a look at 3 key questions posed for rival teams after the lottery, each of which could significantly affect how the franchise conducts its offseason. Could the Spurs draft selection further pique their interest in Chris Paul? Very little will match the joy of winning the 2023 lottery, but the San Antonio Spurs emerged as winners again this year. The Spurs moved up 1 spot from their pre-lottery position to secure the 4th overall pick, while also obtaining the 8th pick from the Toronto Raptors following Jakob Poeltl's trade last year. San Antonio now has tremendous flexibility with what they can do this offseason. They continue to accumulate young talent by adding 2 more selections within the top 10, or Victor Wembanyama's extraordinary debut season could lead them to accelerate their rebuilding process. Either way, it's a daunting proposition for Western Conference rivals, particularly for a team like the Warriors on the playoff brink. More than that, though, the Spurs' draft position could impact the Golden State's offseason. The latest ESPN mock draft has San Antonio filling their point guard void by selecting Rob Dillingham from Kentucky. However, ESPN's broadcast on Sunday, and former NBA member Mark Stein, suggested that the Spurs may look to sign a veteran point guard to help their youth grow. Enter Chris Paul, who could be a legitimate free agent target for San Antonio if his non-guaranteed deal is waived by the Golden State. Stein has already suggested the Spurs as a destination for Paul last month, but this push could go even further if they acquire someone like Dillingham in the draft. What do the Hawks do after a shocking lottery win? The Atlanta Hawks were undoubtedly the winners of Sunday's draw, having acquired the 1st overall pick despite entering with the 10th best odds. Following their shocking luck, all eyes now turn to the direction the franchise will take. Most of the focus is on Trae Young and the Hawks' plans for their 3-time All-Star. Some believe this could lead the franchise into a proper rebuild, which would include trading away their star player, while others think it could cement an enticing duo of Young and a big man like Alex Sarr, who ESPN has ranked 1st overall. While backcourt mate DeJounte Murray may be less impacted by the Hawks' initial pick, the 27-year-old's future is inextricably linked to what happens with Young. If Murray becomes available in the coming months, expect the Warriors to maintain interest, as they reportedly did before the February trade deadline. A 4-player trade for Murray has already been suggested in recent days, with Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, Gary Payton II, and a future first-round pick going to the Hawks. It remains unclear what adding the 1st overall pick will mean for a potential Murray trade, though it's fair to suggest that Atlanta may have less interest in Kuminga if they add another offensive piece like Sarr. NBA Draft, lottery outcome is painful yet necessary for Warriors. When the Golden State Warriors traded Andre Iguodala and a first-round pick to clear cap space in 2019, the franchise hoped to avoid this, resulting in a lottery selection. However, that's precisely what unfolded in Sunday's NBA Draft Lottery, with the Warriors predictably landing the 14th overall pick. It now belongs to the Portland Trail Blazers after a series of team negotiations since the initial deal 5 years ago. While painful and disappointing in the moment, Sunday's lottery outcome was necessary for the Golden State Warriors. Giving up a lottery pick was never on the Golden State's agenda, but as painful as it is, it could have been much worse. The Warriors would have retained their pick had they jumped into the top 4, meaning next year's first-round pick, top 1 protected, would almost certainly have gone to the Trail Blazers. The franchise is leaning on making a playoff return after finishing 10th in the West this season, but that's far from guaranteed given the young talent in the conference and the uncertainty surrounding Golden State's lineup at the moment. Surrendering the 14th pick in what's considered a weak draft is a reasonable outcome when the Warriors could have risked the lottery again next year, and without the protections they had this time. It's also a necessary outcome for the Warriors, considering the benefits they've already reaped from the 2019 deal. Once again, giving up a lottery pick to shed a contract is disheartening in itself, but it allowed them to clear space to acquire D'Angelo Russell in the sign-and trade for Kevin Durant. Without the Iguodala trade, there's no Russell. Without Russell, there's no Andrew Wiggins and the pick that resulted in Jonathan Kuminga. Without Wiggins, there most likely isn't an NBA championship in 2022. Ultimately, without Kuminga, the franchise would look much bleaker than many perceive it to be now. This is the ripple effect of the NBA's trade and draft system, with Sunday's lottery result disappointing in the moment yet necessary given its impact on the Warriors' most recent title. Draymond Green's surprising praise for Macklin Celebrini will leave Sharks fans thrilled. The Sharks have the first shot at drafting Macklin Celebrini. The San Jose Sharks are undoubtedly over the moon right now. San Jose won the 2024 NHL Draft Lottery on Tuesday night. Consequently, they have the first chance to select star prospect Macklin Celebrini in the 2024 NHL Draft. The news on Tuesday left fans in a frenzy and earned significant praise from Golden State Warriors star Draymond Green. Green appeared in a TSN story about the Celebrini family back in January. Macklin's father, Rick, is the director of sports medicine and performance for the Warriors. During his interview, the Michigan native shared some surprising compliments about the supposed top NHL draft pick. "Rick is working with me, and I'm like, hey Rick, when we go to Chicago, any chance Max got a game?" He starts checking the schedule and does it. "So, I'm like, great, I'm going," said Draymond Green, via TSN. "Mac didn't have his best game. But I'm an athlete, and you know when someone's got it. You know who's got it, and he just got it. I got a chance to see a generational talent play." Macklin Celebrini stole the spotlight at the 2024 NHL Draft Lottery. Boston U forward Macklin Celebrini, 71, skates during the third period against Denver in the 2024 Frozen Four College Hockey Tournament semifinals at Xcel Energy Center. Macklin Celebrini didn't just impress Draymond Green on the ice. He has been an absolute star for the past 2 seasons. Green saw the potential cornerstone of the Sharks during the 2022-23 season while playing for the Chicago Steel in the USHL. And the Vancouver native put on an incredible performance. He scored 46 goals and 86 points in just 50 games. Celebrini committed to Boston University for the 2023-24 season. And he continued to outshine his peers. The Boston University star tallied 32 goals and 64 points in 38 games this year. He helped Boston University reach the Frozen Four tournament, where they lost to Denver in the semifinals. Celebrini has certainly been recognized for his efforts. He received the Hobey Baker Award as the top male college hockey player of the season. Consequently, he became the youngest player to win the award. And he was Boston University's first star to win since Jack Eichel in 2015. Sharks building an impressive foundation. If Draymond Green continues to follow Macklin Celebrini, he will witness one of the most promising young teams in the league. The Sharks have already built an impressive foundation of prospects. Some of them may not make it to the NHL for a few years. But San Jose certainly has talent waiting in the wings. Last season, the Sharks received the 3rd pick in the NHL Draft Lottery. With that pick, they selected American center Will Smith. Smith was a standout in the U.S. national team development program during his draft year. In 2023-24, he dominated college hockey at Boston College, scoring 25 goals and 71 points in 41 games to help the Eagles reach the national championship. Another notable player is David Edstrom. Edstrom was a first-round pick in 2023 for the Vegas Golden Knights. On March 8, the Sharks acquired Edstrom as part of the Tomas Hertl trade. The Swedish center played professional hockey in Sweden this season, scoring 7 goals and 19 points in 44 games at just 19 years old in the SHL. The Sharks certainly have a bright future ahead. In the 2024 NHL Draft Lottery, however, they may have landed the franchise cornerstone. San Jose fans should start doing their homework on Macklin Celebrini ahead of the 2024 NHL Draft in late June.